What's up, everybody? Just recently, I reviewed the first Terminator, and I did say I was going to review Terminator 2: Judgment Day, and here it is. Shit. Dropped it. And here it is, folks. This is my review on T2, Terminator 2: Judgment Day. Right here, folks. Well, the plot is, similar to the original, except this time. Oh, and it's directed by James Cameron once again, and once again starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robert Patrick, Linda Hamilton, and introducing Edward Furlong. And let's see, the plot, like I said before, the plot's similar to the original, but this time there's a whole new twist to it. That this time Skynet is sends another machine, another Terminator, to kill John Connor, who's only a kid, who's just a kid. So, yeah, so John Connor, played by Eddie Furlong, is the main target this time. So, John Connor, from the future, the opening sequence where we see, the humans and the machines, duking it out, and in the future, yeah, the opening sequence is the future, just like the first Terminator. You see like humans and machines duking it out, and you see John Connor in the future. This time, like in the original, John Connor sent Kyle Reese. He sent the human being, Yeah, he sent the human being from the future to the past. Now this time he's sending a machine. He's sending a machine this time to protect John Connor. Yeah, so Schwarzenegger this time, as the Terminator, is a good guy. This time he's a good guy. He was a villain in the original. Now he's a good guy in this one. He's the main hero. Okay. And the other Terminator, who was sent by Skynet, to eliminate John Connor, John Connor in the past. Past, present, yeah. Is also known as the T-1000, played by Robert Patrick. And Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, is narrating throughout the majority of the movie. Yeah, she's narrating throughout the movie. Okay, and just seeing, like the original, the Terminator, Schwarzenegger's Terminator, is the first one to arrive. He walks into a biker bar, naked, unarmed, and beats up a couple of bikers and steals their clothes. And the T-1000 arrives, kills a cop, and steals his clothes. Ironic, You got a villain wearing a good guy's clothes, and you got a hero wearing a bad guy's clothes. Yeah, but I tell you, I love this film. I tell you something, I enjoyed this film. This film is fucking awesome. It's epic. It's intense. And John Connor's living with his foster parents, and him and his friend are off to some arcade at the mall, and John Connor turns out to be a thief. Turns out to be a thief and have a criminal record. Well, who cares about that? That's not the point of the movie. That's the point. But let's see. What else can I say about this movie? Oh yeah, and we get another sequence that you see Sarah Connor. Sarah Connor is institutionalized, meaning that she's in the she's been put in the mental hospital. Meaning she's been so because they think she's crazy. Remember the guy, Dr. Silverman, who played who was in the first Terminator as the criminal psychologist. Now he's the director of this mental hospital that Sarah's committed in. He obviously thinks that he thinks Sarah's crazy because she keeps telling that the world's gonna end. The world's gonna end. Machines are gonna take over the world, and everyone's gonna die. Yeah, so they obviously think she's crazy. They obviously think she's crazy. And this time, Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, she's old. She got a little older. She's like fucking jacked. She's like fucking jacked. She's fucking she's fucking diesel, like ripped. She's a muscular chick. I'm like, man. Yeah, and she looks serious too. And notice throughout the majority of the movie, Linda Hamilton never cracks a smile, or should I say, barely cracks a smile. Sarah Connor throughout the whole movie never cracks a smile. She's always serious. She's all business. This gal ain't playing around. I kid you not, man. So anyways, we go up to another scene where, both Terminators are looking for, John. Both Terminators are looking for John. And, they both catch up with John Connor. A shootout, struggle between both Terminators. And T-1000 takes off after John Connor, after John. And then the Terminator, Schwarzenegger, shortly follows after, catching up with John and T-1000. And then, and the Terminator explains, what he explains what he is and how he got there to John. And John realizes that he's the military leader. He's Earth's last hope for survival against Skynet. And just to make the long story short, and they both go and they find out, and Connor's also explained what the T-1000 is. The T-1000 is the more advanced prototype. He's made of liquid metal. He could liquefy himself into any shape and form, solid shape and form, like knives and stabbing weapons and stuff like that. And he can also impersonate any human being. And any human being he impersonates is terminated. He kills them. Okay, and they go find Sarah. They go find Sarah. They bring her out of that hospital. Yeah, Sarah escapes with them apparently, and they go and they regroup. They figure out how they're gonna stop Judgment Day from coming. And which later in the movie, they go to Sarah, like after helping Sarah escape from the mental hospital, and then Sarah's like like I said, Sarah's like, Linda Hamilton's like jacked. She's fucking jacked. She's built. She's lean and she's mean. She's lean, and she is an ass-kicking machine. I'm like, man, this chick kicks ass. She's kicking ass to this fucking movie. No fucking nonsense. I kid you not, my friends. Oh, did I forget to mention that, we also got well, it's about over an hour long, over 2 hours long, because they added deleted scenes in here. This one, you can actually see all the deleted scenes. There's a couple of deleted scenes, there's a deleted scene where there's a deleted scene, there's a scene where, after, this is after, when they reset the microchip in his head. They open up his head and they reset the microchip. And when earlier, I think when John asked the Terminator earlier, if he can learn to become more human, to learn to be more human. So they reset the switch and put the chip back in, and he's learning to be, and you got John's teaching the Terminator to be more human, like smiling and all that other stuff. Yeah. The Terminator does crack a smile. He cracks a couple of smiles and smirks. Yeah, and teaching, the Terminator how to put the keys in the ignition, how to start a car by just putting keys into the ignition instead of ripping off the plate and, doing this like he did in the original. Yeah, so John's teaching, Schwarzenegger how to start an engine, like how to put keys in ignition. Yeah. And you see Sarah Connor, you see, Linda Hamilton from across the other side, seeing, John and the Terminator bonding. You see them bonding. They have like a little family bonding moment. And, John's looking up to him like a father, like he's like a father figure. And, I believe I felt Sarah Connor throughout this whole movie 100%. I felt Linda Hamilton's character 100%. She blew me away. She stole the show. No doubt about that. No pun intended. Sarah Connor stole the fucking show. No pun intended. And later is where it gets really intense. Sarah goes looking for Miles Dyson, the director of Cyberdyne system. Miles Dyson is the director of Cyberdyne. So she goes to his house. She tries to kill him too. She goes off to attempt to kill him, so she can change the future. And the Terminator mentioned, killing Dyson might prevent the war. And okay, so later, when they break into the lab, destroy all, evidence and shit like that. Dyson gets killed by cops. Cops are surrounding the building. The whole building is surrounded by a bunch of cops. And we don't see T-1000 much in the movie until later. We don't see T-1000 until later in the movie. After, the three collect more weapons. And, now it's another plot, like stopping Cyberdyne. I'm like, man, they must have forgot about the T-1000. It seemed like they forgot about the T-1000. T-1000's still running around looking for them. And, more shootouts and more cars and vehicle chase scenes. And another scuffle a final showdown between the Terminator and the T-1000. And, they scuffle, to vehicles and on top of that, and Terminator losing an arm, he loses an arm, gets half his face torn off, he's all messed up, T-1000 messed him up, but he keeps coming, because he was just to protect John Connor. And T-1000 is supposed to take out John Connor. And that means, if John Connor dies, Skynet wins. Yeah, so, and we'll see a big confrontation between, final confrontation between Sarah and the T-1000 and the Terminator, who destroys the T-1000 yeah, the final showdown takes place in a hot, a hot mill place thing, you know, hot lava mill place thing. That's where the final showdown takes place. And I tell you, I mean, the Terminator 2, it's just as dark as the first Terminator. Not as dark as the first Terminator was. This one, but it's intense. It means a lot of action, excitement, and I had fun watching this movie. I had fun with this movie, especially John Connor's one-liners were a bit funny. They made me chuckle. They didn't make me laugh. They made me chuckle. I did get it. Yeah, John Connor's one-liners, got a chuckle out of me. Did get it. And Schwarzenegger may be the main hero. He may be the main hero, but Sarah Connor, no question, stole the show. Linda Hamilton stole the show. She was an ass-kicking machine. No fucking nonsense with this chick, man. Yeah. So, yeah. So I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed Terminator 2. Just as much as I enjoyed the first Terminator. And the acting was great. It was awesome. Everybody did a hell of a job. But again, Linda Hamilton stole the show. And so, hands down to Linda Hamilton. Great performance. And nicely done directing by James Cameron once again. And yeah, so that's pretty much Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Well, just leave your comments below and let me know what you think of this review. This is my review. And like I said, I'm still trying to get the hang of this review thing. And once again, another shout out to ReviewKing MB and Rambarot for Life. Thanks. I appreciate you watching. And until next time, hasta la vista, baby.